I guess we're here now then. Welcome guys to the Rainbow Six show match here at the Ubisoft Experience Birmingham. I've got to say Birmingham on there as well because apparently there are a lot of experiences going on, but this one is clearly the best one because we have a brilliant match for you coming up between Na'Vi and Secret. My name's Desert Chu, one of the casters and the hosts for today. Now before we get underway, I've got two gentlemen who are going to come and join me for a little bit of a chat. And you may be familiar with both. Kendrew, one of the players for Na'Vi, and of course Leon. Unverified, of course, as well. Feels good. Gents, got to ask... Thank you. Got to ask a quick question first to you both as well. How have you found the Ubisoft experience so far? And we'll start with you first.
It's been really fun going around talking to all the fans that have been here from the UK scene, and it's great to be with them all.
Very modest answer yourself?
Yeah, pretty much what he said. It's been great.
Fair enough. And you guys have both clashed a lot so far in the UK scene at Prem Finals. You name it, you always seem to come up against each other. It's a show match, but you want to win, right?
We don't really care. We're just here for fun.
Have you got some more pride on the line in this one that you know you've got to keep them down under the heel?
They said that at Prem and they still lost, so I don't know.
It hasn't been the best record at Prem so far. Is it because it's always for fun for you guys, or is there some deeper meaning behind this?
We prepare for majors and minors that we win.
Makes a fair point. What happens when you meet those guys at a major or a minor?
What, Secret? I don't know. We're pretty bad at qualifying for majors, so we'll have to improve on that, but hopefully we'll meet them in Pro League next season if they don't choke.
Hopefully no choking, we'll say that much. Well, more than welcome to shake hands ready ahead of this game. Good luck, gents. Go back to your seats, and we will throw over to our casters backstage, unverified, by the way, in Ace and X. Gents, take it away.
And, welcome everybody, I am Ace of Pyrat here with XR Troika at my side as always. How are you doing today, X?
I'm doing very good. I've had a very good time looking around the Ubisoft Experience today here at the NEC. There's been plenty of good stuff going on and it's been great to meet up with everybody that's here. So yeah, very enjoyable and really looking forward to watching these two guys face off against each other yet again.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. To be fair, it's always a good game when these two meet. We've seen them most recently meeting each other at the Premiership Finals, and it was Na'Vi that came away on top, and reasonably convincingly so as well. Do you think we're going to see anything different today?
I mean, I'm a little bit confused, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think Leon might be playing it down a little bit. I think there's quite a bit on the line here that maybe they don't want to show their emotions. They maybe don't want to show their hand all too much because I know that there's a lot of pride between these two teams. There are, of course, very good friends as well between these teams. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. And there's definitely more than just a bit of fun on the line here for Team Secret.
There certainly is. What you've got to remember about these players is they are hyper-competitive. They want to win every round that they get into. There's no opportunity for them to come in and just try to sort of, course through a game. That's not what they're about. That's not how you get to play at this level that the players here, that we see from them. You don't get there without really being on the top of your game all the time. So they're going to want to come away, no matter how much that's played down. They want to come away with bragging rights.
And let's face it, they're coming off a good win in Raleigh, or at least a good showing in Raleigh. They did very well in that tournament. So, hello.
Back again.
Magic, mate. It's like the power of teleportation in 2019 has truly arrived.
Is that something that you get when you're verified?
It is, mate. You're absolutely correct. You'll experience it one day, I'm sure, mate. You deserve it.
Thank you.
He's just everywhere at the minute.
It's like a bad smell, just won't go away.
You get where water won't get.
Well, what you guys are saying was pretty much spot on in saying that, is that for Secret, off the back of a very good performance at a major, Na'Vi saying themselves, we're just not really qualifying for events like that, but as we've seen repeatedly in the UK scene, they're either the Achilles heel of Secret or are just choking when it does come to those big events.
Yeah, and I mean, Na'Vi are still yet to get many opportunities at qualifying for majors and minors and such. They've obviously recently come into Pro League and obviously after getting through Challenger League, and they are still establishing themselves as a team. So I don't think it's too unfair to say that I think their future's looking pretty bright in terms of majors and minors, and they've just got to get themselves into that position. And I'm sure we will see them at a couple in the future.
They have definitely got a lot of time ahead of them, and they've, I'm sure, got plenty of minors, majors, Pro League finals and all sorts in their future. But You know, look at Secret's performance recently at Rally, though. You know, an absolute world away from the performance in Leicester that we're talking about. You know, ultimately it took a very good Empire side to stop them, and even then it was touch and go. They really didn't get run over. You know, they performed extremely well in that game, and it was some absolutely huge IQ plays that saw them go out of that one. If we remember the defuse from Scyther on Bank, you know, everybody I think will remember that one, shotgun through the soft wall to get to the diffuser. It was plays like that that were stopping Secret, and you just can't legislate for something like that.
And they were really happy as well. You speak to any of the guys on Secret, they'll say the fact that we managed to go onto Coastline, where historically Empire have been extremely dominant, to be able to bring them down was a huge feat for them, and in themselves saying, look, if we can even take that map away from them, it does go to show that gods can bleed.
And this is something that comes away from Secret as well, because they do end up getting themselves into a position quite often where they play a lot better when it's, you know, when there seems to be more on the line. You know, for example, we saw them play Prem a couple of weeks before they went over, you know, they flew over to America to play Rally, and night and day. And I know there's going to be an element of like hiding things and not playing the same and keeping a few things behind, but they do really seem to step it up. And I hope they step it up today, because it'd be really nice to see these two going at it.
I think you're right with that, and I was asked earlier by somebody about, you know, where was the difference? What happened between Leicester and Rally? You know, were they saving things? Were they keeping things back? But
Just pause on that for 2 seconds. It's so funny saying difference between Leicester and Raleigh. What an incredible two cities to be comparing with events.
You know, there is probably a reasonable difference when it comes to the cities themselves as well. But, you know, my response to that was, I think there might have been an element of holding a few things back, having the major in mind, but from what I watched, mechanically, they were just a world apart as well. They turned up at Rally, they were hitting the shots every game, they were really on top of it, really sharp. Teamwork, obviously, comms was definitely flowing, you know, and they were very, very good at gathering information and reacting to it quickly, which is not something that we saw at the Premiership Finals. So I think consistency is probably something that Secret really need to start looking at improving.
Absolutely. And I've got to ask for you guys as well. I asked them out there on stage a second ago. Ubisoft Experience so far, in Birmingham, mind you. Thoughts so far?
I've really enjoyed it. I think being able to come and see all the different titles, all the different displays in the stands. I mean, there's a real car out there. Like, as you
I want to take that car. That's what right out of here.
As you come in, there's a real car. It's epic.
That's
so yeah,
the scale.
there's
You know what's
some
even
really
better?
cool
They
stuff
even
going on.
prepared a taxi for Leon in case he does start real messing up in this game. It's there, the door's opening, jump in the back and be off home.
It's ready to go. To be honest, yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic experience. What a privilege for us to get to work here and to get to be a part of that. You know, it's obviously for a good cause as well, charity being supported. But yeah, it's been brilliant. You've got retro titles, you've got new titles, you've got upcoming stuff. You know, you can see Watch Dogs Legion gameplay, and you know, it really is fantastic. What a day out it's been, and I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of it tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah, it is on for 2 days. So if you are around and want to get yourself down to the event, it is at the NEC in Birmingham. Otherwise, of course, you have this wonderful stream to be watching. Now, I have confirmation in my ears. We will be jumping into game in just a second. And again, it's so great to have these two teams in the UK. We spoke about it on the stage earlier on. Having two big names in Secret and Na'Vi, both based in the UK and able to come to events like this, it's brilliant.
It is brilliant. I think something that may be worth mentioning is that Helby is in fact stepping in today. Alems wasn't able to make it, so the coach for Secret, Helby, has made his way over to the UK. I'm not sure it's the first time he's been to the UK. It was certainly the first time I've casted him over in the UK. He's never managed to get himself over for any of the Prem stuff, so it'll be good to see how he's able to sort of step in, because big boots to fill.
You know what they love the most as well? You speak to any of the guys from Secret, they're like, coming back here, not having to pay $11 a day for Wi-Fi is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously there's going to be an element there of that impacting on Secret's performance potentially, but Helby will know the players, he'll know the strats, he'll know exactly where and when he should be. The thing is, you look at Alems, you look at what he brings to the team, and he really does bring quite a lot of kills. When he's on a game, he's, you know, a real fragging player, and that's something that Helby is maybe going to have to look to fill in for. But alternatively, you might just see a little bit of a different Secret today.
Well, into map bands then, gents. I want you to tell me what you think as we start to work our way through these, and what you're thinking it's going to look like at the end of the series as well. So first band coming away, Clubhouse, something we've seen both of these teams play quite extensively.
Clubhouse has seen its fair share of competitive play at this moment in time. I think neither team is, you know, it's not neither team's particular map, I wouldn't say. Both teams are more than competent at playing about it, but it's not something that I'm surprised at seeing banned out there, I don't think.
Absolutely, it's always a fun map to watch. I never mind watching it, especially since the rework, and we really are seeing some new elements coming forward in Clubhouse. We can see Border going there as well. Again, a map that we've seen both of these teams play very well on. Let's remember that performance from Dorky partway through the Premiership season on Border, where he just, I think it was like 16-2 or something. Absolutely went off on that one.
And Villa going to be the pick coming through for Na'Vi. They were the first one, so Villa going to be the first one we go to.
Yeah, Villa's a good map. It's a map that Team Secret have done very well on historically, but obviously it's in there for a reason. I think at this point I'm just glad that Border's out, because we've seen a lot of Border at this moment in time. So to see a bit of Villa, it always mixes things up. And a bit of Cafe as well, new Cafe nonetheless.
Yeah.
Not too much of a surprise to see the new Cafe there. We all know that Navi have done extremely well on it, picking up a good few wins in Pro League on the new Cafe. Obviously a map that they're very comfortable on. Secret as well, we've seen have some good performances on there. So I think, yeah, that's going to be a very, very entertaining first couple of maps, and I would not be surprised at all to see that going one either way and coming towards a final decider.
Yeah, Bank being taken away as well. A bit of a shame, because it's one of those maps that I feel you have the real pop-off potential from some players with the options for roaming on that map.
I saw the disappointment in your face as that one came through.
Yeah, well, was it really that badly painted on my face?
Yeah, the lip was out. It was
I was pouting like a git. Yeah, we're all the way in.
Yeah, Bank, a great map to see, and always a good map to see on LAN as well. It does tend to play out just a little bit more when you do get into a LAN environment than it does online. Consulate there being the last ban. So we are going to see our last decider, and that is, of course, going to be Coastline.
And what a map that will be if this does come down to a decider. Going into Coastline, we all know how important it is to win your gunfights on there. So many angles that need to be held down, and that will be an absolute cracker between these two teams if it gets to that stage.
It would be an excellent showcase as well for the very end of the series, because, again, Secret having great success on it recently against Empire, coming back to face off against Na'Vi, potentially on that as a decider. Brilliant end to it. Like you say, if it does go that far, or either team could very comfortably take this as a 2-0. We've seen what both teams can do.
I think I'd like to see it go that far. I think it's probably looking that way too. With the way that maps have played out, and I think with how much is on the line today between these two teams, I think we will see all three.
Yeah, that's it. Like you said, there's a lot of pride on the line.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come away with a win. They're going to be fighting hard for it. And, ultimately we've got to remember that this is, a really good showcase of competitive Siege as well. As the scene grows, we're seeing more and more competitions come through. You've got Pro League every week. You've got the Premiership a couple of times through the year, 3 times this year, I think it is. And there's more and more tournaments and competitions cropping up, and this is going to be a great advert, I'm sure, as to why you should be tuning in and watching those, and just, the things you can take away, the things you can learn, and just the entertainment factor of it.
It does feel like Siege gets very busy lately. There's very rarely a break where it's like, oh, there's no Siege this week. There's always some Siege going on.
Siege is live.
No rest for the wicked, as they say, and no rest for us, as we are now going into map number 1 between Secret and Na'Vi, into Villa, and we're going to see Secret starting on defense.
Defense indeed, so they will come out with the first ban, which will be an attacker. Who do we think that Team Secret are going to pick up here? We've seen a popularity sort of rise for Jackal on the ban, obviously more so in ranked, but potentially we're going to see Lion going out there first of all, and then we will have Navi coming in with the second attacking ban.
Sorry, we're all having a good dance at the minute, so what on earth is going on behind us in the venue?
I think it's going to be Nomad. Oh, it's Capital.
Incredible.
Capital's seen a lot of bans lately, obviously. Heck of a lot of utility, brilliant weaponry. And, Lion coming out as a ban, it's a bold move. I think it's sometimes something that you don't always seen played. Castle as well. We're certainly seeing some interesting operator bans.
And Leon knows that's pretty much against him as well. And I agree, Lion and Castle are the more uncommon ones. And Capital, admittedly, when he first got reworked, wasn't banned a whole ton. But lately we're seeing more and more teams find more comfortable ways to use him. And it's almost like you just can't leave him up anymore. He has to be taken away. Same for Mirror. It just seems to be a thing a lot, especially in Europe, where we say no Mirror allowed, purely because of how much he can transform the way certain sites are played.
The good thing about these matches is it gives the team a realistic LAN opportunity to try new things as well. So it's no surprise to see, the odd different ban coming in, like the Castle that we don't normally see. It just mixes things up a bit.
So we're going to be looking toward Trophy Room and Statuary. Leon, is he going to stick with that Tachanka, or is that a little bit of a bait pick there?
Well, he did say earlier on that he wanted to be bringing some Chanka, bring the Lord to the field. I can't imagine it will stick out maybe in this first round. Maybe something you want to save for later on in the series when you really want to surprise people.
I've got an inkling how this first round's going to go.
Go on then, I'm listening.
I think there's a good potential that we're going to see a Nomad knife round in the first round.
I mean, we do have the Nomad.
Nello rarely plays Nomad.
That is a fair point.
Usually you'd be looking toward Doki.
Yeah.
So if everyone starts to, head for a window, then there's a good potential we could. But it looks like some reinforcement might be going down, so I could be incorrect.
I think they are indeed going for it because they've left most of the walls soft and there is that anticipation of, right boys, outside
I think
we go.
the interesting bit there is that it was Helby that was actually reinforcing as the coach, the guy that's actually...
He's locked in there. He wants to get his strap down.
All right, so I imagine most people who are into esports or Rainbow Six esports will have seen this before, but give us a quick summary of what this looks like.
It's a lot of fun. It makes a knife round a lot more fun because the idea is everybody gets outside, Nomad places an air jab down, in the middle of the floor with plenty of room for everyone to be able to slowly circle in. Everybody slowly circles in and then everyone gets blasted an equal radius out by the air jab. And then the rest, well, that's just down to chaos, I think.
That's just a free-for-all at that point. As then they move in and just try to get any kills that they can. You can see them just giving each other the jiggle hello there, just having a look, just weighing each other up. And as you said, this Nomad charge is going to go down now. The air jab goes into the floor and we'll see it detonate. Everybody flies out and here we go. A strong start from Navi. 3 kills, 4 kills, and that is over in a matter of seconds. I don't think there's any questions there whatsoever as to who the kings of the knife fight are after that one.
What?
4 kills at the end of that frame as well. Meepy, got to give a special mention. 2 kills for Secret. The only kills that they got in that entire round as well. That will mean first round over to Na'Vi. And now things get serious. You're not going to see that for all potential rounds here on Villa. I'm pretty sure things turn secret in this round. Turn secret? Turn serious.
Serious.
Very serious in this round.
Doki coming out with a strong 4K, but, that could be the last 4 kills that we see from him. Sometimes we do see, 2 different Dokis. He'll come out and he'll go 16 and 2, and then the next week he might struggle to get more than 2 or 3 over the game. So, going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
Leon's desperate for this Tajanka, isn't he? He's not tasted.
actually gone
he's
for
not
it.
tasted blood yet. He's desperate to get a kill with this Tachanka.
Well, he's chosen to stick it out here in this round, so you could sit here and say we can analyze this 5-man setup all day long, but I imagine you're going to see something pretty crazy and cheesy coming out of Leon in this first round.
Yeah, there's going to be. I imagine there's going to be. Oh no, it looks like he's going to set it up on the hatch over inside a study. It's not going to be a bad place to use it. If you get some ADSs down there, he might be able to survive all the throwables and stuff that he's no doubt going to see. But ultimately, it's going to be a tough one. Maybe I'd like to see the hatch get blown from beneath if we could get a Hibana charge on that from underneath. That'd be pretty sweet.
The danger
How
there.
many ADSs they've set up around it? Look at the blinking red lights. It's like a flight beacon saying, please don't come near here.
I think it's fair to say that this strat is going to largely revolve around Tachanka trying to keep people out of that study. The major danger to him is going to be that vertical game potentially, with it coming from underneath. If he does have an attack like that, whereby an Hibana comes and opens the hatch up from underneath, or even potentially, we've got Buck on the board there. If you come out and shoot out that soft floor around the hatch, I would suggest you're almost certainly going to be getting an angle through onto that Tajanka, and if he gets cleared out of there, then things are going to get a lot more difficult. Alternatively, you've also got the potential for Navi recognising that and just attacking from master side instead.
Well, I think you're pretty much right there. The potential for the explosives coming below. At least trading kills out early enough, back and forth. And the first call comes out from Citizen as well. And as you can see, you are absolutely right. That hatch did get opened up from underneath there, which means, well, Tachanka will be no more. At least his turret won't.
Leon's finding some kills with it, though. He's making the gun do some work. He's going to pick up one over onto Doki. Kendry now going to drone in for his team. He's actually on a double kill as he grabs Nello as well. All of a sudden looking very good for Team Secret in this round.
So we will be hopping onto the Maestro cams there, just see what information we can feedback. Leon making the challenge, but Citizen having none of it, moves in and gets himself a kill. And then we see Kendrew just taking another one for Navi onto Feral there with the headshot. So that now leaves us in a 1 versus 2 for Kendrew as he brings it back into 1 versus 1.
No way.
On to Helby, very close, but he just can't bring the rifle to bear in time. And Mipe, consistent as ever, will finish that off for Team Secret. Round number 2 going in their favour.
I was going to say with Kendrew, although he plays on these more supportive roles, the number of times you can count where he's been one of the last man left alive and has popped off with 2, 3 kills to still win a round out, that felt like one of those, but unfortunately not when it came down to those final few shots, looking the wrong way just for a couple of seconds.
Kendrew is the support player that you want because he has got that clutch potential, like you say. Time and time again, we see him in those situations, and time again, we see him being able to pick up multiple kills. Just couldn't make it happen there. I think he was a little bit shocked that both the players for Secret were holding each other's hand in that final moment. Usually you'd expect some sort of a crossfire to be established, and when he found out that they were both in the same location, it was just a little bit too much to deal with. But it will take us to 1 round apiece, and all pretty square at this moment in time, moving into round number 3. Going to see Nello very uncertain there about what he actually wants to play, but going to end up over on the Ying.
You've also got that cav coming through for Funkers, so it might not be a Chanka this time round, but it definitely is something to keep them guessing as to where he's going to be. And I expect this will be one of those roams where you have it playing on the opposite side of the map. So you'll see Funkers head down towards the south side, just wait for a bad clear to come through from the other side, catch someone off guard. And it's very rare we actually see an interrogation come through, but when it does, it completely changes how the round plays out.
You love to see it, you really do when it does happen. But look at the map we're on. Let's not forget, Villa is a very, very big map, especially when you factor in that little used basement as well. If Funkers can get himself out into the map and get lost, that's going to cause some real problems for Navi because they have to deal with that Caveira. There's no way that they can just leave her out there on the roam on a map like Villa because there's a lot of rotations and there's a lot of potential to do damage. We see an early run-out attempt from Mipe there, and he will be punished. Kendrew, once again, as you said, coming in with those important frags for his team, just getting that opening kill and really firing things up for Navi with a brilliant headshot there onto the run-out of Mipe. And Feral also taking some big damage on the Jaeger there.
Losing the ACOG probably not as impactful as it would be on other maps because generally with Villa, a lot of the firefights are very close. It's always short to medium range. You really want that MP5 ACOG to be available where you are going for those more long-range gunfights. And you won't see too many on Villa. Admittedly, going for a spawn peak, yes, you will, and that came back to bite them. But it won't be as painful or as impactful here as it would have been on other maps.
You can see the Yings there coming through. The Candela is doing the work. Helby is in fact blind. All he's got is the Bailiff. He's going to make the challenge, but Citizen there with the LMG ready to cut on through. He's going to pre-fire over on into But him himself is going to get picked up by Leon Gids. Leon this time on the Valk, a bit more of a typical pick for him. Going to make his way over on into Bathroom, but I believe Funkers has just got it down on in there as well. Leon going to get taken out by, I believe it is going to be Doki, as Funkers not quite having the time to go for the interrogation. He's going to finish off Nello. 2 kills come through for Navi, and that is all she wrote. Navi going to take round 3 there, as the kills were flying in those final few moments.
It does feel like it was potentially a bit of an aggressive play by Leon trying to push through in towards the site itself. Just failed to anticipate that someone would be there waiting at the other end.
Not only aggressive, you know, I've got to call it as I see it, a little bit sloppy from Leon there. Moving back into sight, there was no ADS, no response to the fact that Doki was stood at the other side of the room. He didn't even get the opportunity to make a challenge with that. You know, and at this level, that you have to be challenging every single gunfight. You can't be walking into rooms and putting yourself in a position to just be picked off like that. But it also suggests the potential of a little bit of lack of information there for Secret as well. That, you know, moving back into sight, he was obviously unaware that there was one in sight, and so they haven't been picked up on cams. You know, you've got to ask the question about those placements, about the information that's being fed back in there.
Well, coming into round 4, things have settled at least somewhat. Now, Leon being on the Frost, we don't see Frost all that much, because once you know that one's on the map, it's simply a case of jumping through a window, spraying at the ground whenever you jump in,
It's so
and you're
simple.
fine.
It is so simple.
How simple is that,
It is
Tim?
extremely simple to avoid frost traps.
For something that is on the face of it mechanically so simple, how do you find yourself in so many?
Yeah.
What are you looking at in a good frost map placement? Talk me through it.
I think it's just excitement, personally. I just want to get where I want to be. I've seen an opportunity. I'm moving in quickly. And
Is this some kind of inside joke where he always runs into frost
I have
mats or
about a
something?
99% success rate when it comes to landing in frost mats. If you
Leon-
ever come up against me in rank, just take frost. You'll win.
Yeah, it is not a bad point, actually, because you'll definitely net yourself a couple of kills with that method. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be for Leon here, but again, it is something that is a little bit unexpected. And even the sort of the mechanical skill of actually aiming down to shoot out the frost mat, usually you're going to want your ADS up so that you can be challenging if anyone's going to be jumping into doors or windows as an attacker when you're trying to breach your way in, so it does take your mind off it in that respect.
It is worth mentioning with the frost traps as well. Let's not forget the mechanics of shooting them out was altered recently. So coming through a window or door and shooting down, you've actually got, I think it's now only a percentage chance of shooting it out and actually hitting it. So more frequently now than before, you can end up going into them. Even when you do everything right, you can still end up going into them.
So 99% success rate against you becomes a 99.9.
Yeah.
Basically.
And well, Citizen jumped into one, so it's taking after you clearly, Ace.
I tell you what, if it's good enough for Citizen, it's good enough for me.
Citizen is going to find himself, of course, on 20 hit points after being revived there. Fonka's going to be playing a more typical role here. This is somewhere that we see a lot of smoke players playing on in Villa. Just ready to try and deny and to slow down that master push as it comes through. A lot of attention there in Astronomy, but Meepy on a little bit of a flank. Kendry's going to open up the bag for Navi there, but Meepy going to find himself a great double kill from the landing over on into Master, and I've got a feeling he's not done just yet. 2 kills come through for Navi, leaving us in a 3 versus 2, but what happened there? 3 kills in the final few seconds of that round, securing it for Navi once again.
Navi just watching their angles very well there, I think, reacting to, obviously, Meepy's location. He came in, got a good double kill, and what I like from Meepy there, I've talked before and I've talked time again about Meepy's consistency and the way that he makes clever decisions, and what he did there was got himself a double kill, but he didn't get overexcited and try to chase into sight there, try to push Master even harder. He just held himself back to keep that same angle, knowing that potentially if another challenge comes along, he's going to pick himself up a 3rd, maybe even a 4th, and I like that. He doesn't seem to react overly emotionally to the situation where, you know, some players will do. They'll get that 1 kill, get that sort of bloodlust going, and in they go, regardless of what's going on around them. And, you know, he was unfortunate then to come on the wrong end of that round, I think.
I like how you say that about Meepy, because if you've met him in person, you'll know that he's a pretty reserved, pretty quiet guy overall. And when he had the interviews even at Prem, again, quite reserved, didn't say anything kind of outlandish, was generally a pretty nice guy. So you expect that to see in his play as well, where he is a more composed player, maybe more so than some of the more excitable members on his team, should we say.
Yeah, calm, cool, and collected, I think, is probably the best way to describe Meepy's play. As Tim said, very consistent as well in the way that he plays and the way that he operates, rarely sort of varying from just a good, solid form, which is important. You need those people in your team that you can rely on, and, you know, you don't want to be, you know, hoping for something brilliant and worried that something terrible is going to happen. You just want people that are going to do what they do and do it very well, and Meepy is that guy through and through, and it comes out in his play style.
Coming into round number 5 then, Navi have taken an early lead, 3-1 here on Villa. And that's actually against, you know, the run of how we would expect the map to go potentially, being that Navi are on attack. We tend to see that Villa is a defender-sided map. If you're on the defence, you want to be picking up at least 4 of those defensive rounds. But that said, we do have Secret playing with the Tachanka again. So, you know, maybe some slightly different strategies to those that we would normally see coming out this time. We've got exactly the same setup, with Leon setting himself up on the hatch in the study area, so we'll have to see if he has a little bit more joy. I'd love to see a turret kill. I'd love to see it.
It looks like Leon would love to see one. He's pretty nailed on with that Tachanka pick. It is something that he's. I hope he gets it sooner rather than later, because I think as soon as he's got it, he can probably put that to bed then. But they've got to look at the adaptation. Look at the adaptation there from Team Secret. They've recognised.
They've dropped a Frostbat down.
It's brilliant.
They've electrified it. They've got all the ADS there again. They are literally giving all of their utility over to him in this round.
There is no reason why you can't get a kill.
Dorky downed as well downstairs, so that leaves us at the moment at least in an effective 4 versus 3 Citizen. Keen to push into Study, but I think he is well aware of what awaits him around that corner to the right. Another Frostmat. You see, I'm quite happy now. We've got Dorky, we've got Citizen, we've got some of the top players in the UK struggling with those Frostmats as well. Saves moves in with a kill onto Feral, and we can see Dorky just making a great challenge on the 90 corridor, taking Meepy out. Saves, gets himself another onto Leon, so that will be the Tachanka gone again without a kill. Fonka's just watching the stairs there, but will take a lot of damage from behind. Comes out with the Nitro Cell, gets himself a kill onto Citizen. That is excellent game sense there to know where those Navi players were located, but he's still got an absolute mountain to climb. 1 versus 3 on the Bandit here with only about 5 HP, and it will be Saves who mops it up at the end there.
Look at the map knowledge there coming through from Fon, because he knew exactly the beam that he needed to hit that C4, and he put himself in an okay position to try and get that out. It was as good as he was ever going to make it, I think, but on such low health, he had a very tall mountain to climb.
I'm very excited to see what the next adaptation is of the Tachanka strap. What else they add?
The next iteration, V3.
Well, they didn't do it. Was the Ash, I think, that was the undoing this time.
Yeah.
So the ADSs must have been cleared out, and the Ash was the
I think you've got to spread your ADSs.
Yeah.
And be catching the throwables as they're coming through the doors and windows.
They had that before because they actually had one of the ADSs in front of the shield last time, on the wall next to it, but still in front, whereas this time round, everything was in the very back corner. So maybe some misplays coming out from the Jaeger there cost them. That's not how the strat's meant to go, boys.
I think there was probably, more to that round.
No, absolutely not.
Bringing the Tachanka
No,
in the first place.
No, nothing wrong with that.
There's blame there. That needs to be VOD reviewed, I think. I think we need to break that one down.
I'm pretty sure Helby's already dishing some blame out in there as the coach. Looking towards round number 6 then, we can see Navi now taking a reasonably commanding lead so far, 4-1, but we're going to see a complete flip reverse of what we normally see on Villa. We've seen the attacking team come out and do very well. Are we going to see Team Secret do the same thing when they switch round after this? Do you remember we played the first 6 rounds with the same team attacking and the same team defending, and then those roles will switch around. So after this round, we're going to see Team Secret moving onto the attack. But before they can do that, they're going to have to make an attempt to defend downstairs here in Dining Kitchen, which is a tough objective at the best of times. It's usually the 3rd pick site. Teams will only take this site when they need to. So, Navi, you'd expect to maybe come out 5-1 here.
Yeah, they're certainly in the position to do it. I think that they're maybe taking things a little bit differently on their attacking rounds. We're seeing a lot of operators switch up between them. Seeing a Glaz pick this time, which, I mean, when was the last time we saw Glaz in a competitive area of Siege? He's fallen out of the meta quite significantly, but always good to see. Fonkers is going to get punished early doors there. Citizen on the gridlock, putting good use to that weapon and managing to shut Fonkers down on the run out.
And hitting him with a lol.
That's
we
the
saw
kind
how
of
that went down in Raleigh.
That's what's on the line between these teams. You don't want to be on the receiving end of a lol.
Who does?
Who does?
Who does?
At least it wasn't a nice shot.
Ooh, we're going to see our first attempt to get the diffuser down. Nello moving into sight on the dock of it. Will get it down as Meepy sprays through the smoke there. Can only do damage though. Helby is stood right on the site as well. Is he going to start looking for a bit of a stealth diffuse there? He hasn't moved in close enough yet. And Saves will get a kill onto Leon meanwhile, who I think was out on the roam there. He'll also pick up Helby, but Meepy will start the fight back now. 1 versus 3 as Dorky takes out Feral. He takes big damage and will be finished by Nello, as that is another successful round for Navi, and that time it was on the fast plant.
I think that's the first plant that we've seen so far this series or this map. And it's good to see. I like to see that strategy. Just get in, get the bomb down, get an early man advantage, taking somebody out on a spawn peak, and all of a sudden a couple of smoke canisters throw in, you've got the plant down, and clean up from there.
Well, switching sides, like you say, defense coming in now for Navi. I can't imagine they're the kind of team to want to try and employ something like a Tachanka setup. Feels more like the secret special, that one.
I mean, well, Leon can't put these operators down today.
He's absolutely loving the Russian operators, isn't he?
I hope that Fuse has got a shield.
He is off the chain, we'll say that much. And Kendra's thinking about it.
So we're going to see a clash as well, potentially. Not something that we see too commonly. I quite like Fuse as an operator. I know that he's niche, But we've seen him put to some good use. We've seen him coming into a few sites and being put to good use recently, particularly on Clubhouse. He has been a great solution to the impact tricking of the kitchen hatch. Just moving in, it's a soft floor, dropping your fuse pucks through, and it just completely prevents whoever it might be, the Legion, the Smoke, staying underneath, or even a Pulse being able to challenge with a Nitro. So, you know, in some niche situations, we have seen some really sort of innovative thinking with Fuse, really, to solve a problem. He's always been used as an operator to move people around. You're not looking to get kills. If you do get one, it's a bit of an extreme bonus with Fuse, but generally speaking, his purpose is to move operators around, and we're just seeing teams utilise that a little bit more than we have before.
Vortex.
How do we think Leon's going to move Navi around in this circumstance? Because they're going to have to take some good map control to be able to put him to some good use. And let's look at it. Where are these fuse charges going to be used for? Doki feeling very confident, going for a little run out there, and a bit of an unnecessary pre-fire onto one of the master windows. That is a 1 in a million shot, and I think if he'd have hit that, he would have probably been better off hanging up his keyboard and mouse right about
But
now.
what does count is that 1 in a million when it does come true.
You miss every shot you don't take, Des.
I like that optimism that you're sharing there, because that's exactly what Doki's feeling. However, the optimism may be waning as they're now down to 3 members. Secret finding themselves a couple of kills nice and early. Nello trying to go for a shot onto, well, other way around, I should say. They go onto Meepy, sorry. Meepy's the one who finds that opening kill to bring them back into the spot, and Secret clean house on their first attacking round with a flawless round, and Na'Vi collapse.
Well, as I suggested, you know, we may just see a reverse, sort of a reverse sweep. The tide is turning now as Secret get themselves onto the attack.
Do you want to know the big problem with that round?
Go on then.
Nello left the site.
There you go.
Nello is under strict orders, the strictest of orders, to never, ever, ever leave the site. I think, in fact, Doki has said, Nello, if I see you leave the site, I'm going to team kill you. Now, we've seen a bit of a role swap there. Nello was stretching his legs on the bandit in one room adjacent to the site, and the whole defense falls apart.
You know what Doki's going to say in future, though? He'll be like, mate, just go back, find this exact timestamp in this video, watch that back for me. This is why you don't leave site.
So
and
now,
Gig's probably there nodding in agreement like, yeah, I agree, I see your point.
He's just adding fuel to the fire at this point. We can see that Tachanka pick has stuck this time from Kendrew, so we're going to have the Tachanka Pro. Is it going to be used in the same way, though, Des? We're up in AVG, so there is the potential to, again, further refine the strat that Secret were using.
Did we see whether or not the fuse bought a shield in the last round?
He did.
He did.
He did, I'm pretty
And now
certain.
they've got a Monty, they've got a Blitz, and they've got a Finker.
And
I
they've got
couldn't-
Fuse Shield again.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I wonder what could
Triple
potentially
shield.
be coming. They've got a bit of hard breach, obviously being deployed by Feral as well, just in case there is a particularly annoying reinforced wall blocking their path. But it's the 3 shields I'm excited for. This is how you mix things up.
yeah, I think Ferrell's still being the sensible one there and taking the Hibana and like, you know what, guys, it's all fun and games, you guys go in the shields, but we're going to need to open something at some point. So I'll take Hibana and I'll get that one sorted for you. The lineup on Navi isn't too bad for shield. Legion would have been preferable, maybe over the Tachanka, but at the end of the day, you don't really know how that Tachanka's going to get deployed. And with that aggressive angle over onto the door into A, it could be enough. The Tachanka could be enough here.
That must be a really expensive pool table to be able to support the weight of that LMG and the 3-armor operator.
To be fair, it could be a very good solution to the problem that Secret were finding. You can't shoot it from underneath now.
Fair point.
The push now is going to come through Study. We're going to see a little bit of action underneath, maybe a couple of C4s going off as Meepy. He's actually got a Finker boost at this moment in time. He's going to try and burn the ADS. I think he was maybe trying to smoke off that doorway and allow himself to push in a little bit freer. They're going to have to do something about the bandit batteries on the wall into both Aviator and Study. Meepy doing his job for the time being. He's going to be able to block off that doorway as more flashes come in, and it's going to be Helby waiting right behind him, ready to push on in with that blitz.
Is that intentional? That almost looks intentional.
I'm not sure it was. It just caught the top of the Monty shield there, as we can see Meepy now pushing in with diffuser in hand. So we're potentially going to see.
Wow.
I was going to say we potentially could see an opportunity to plant here, but the kills will come in far quicker than any plant attempt can be made, and that will send another round in the favour of Team Secret. And we are seeing a bit more of a game now.
It feels less impressive when you see that actually it was the Thinker, the one without the shield, getting the kills, but it was the pressure created by the shields that was the big one that meant all eyes were looking towards the south side of the map, and all it took was that flank on the north side. He's in there, he's getting kills, that's what counts.
We're going to go into Aviator Game Room again now. I think it's got to be time for Navi to accept that Team Secret have just got the upper hand on this site and switch it up, get yourself into trophy statuary, try and get a defensive round on the board. But no, they're going to be banging their heads against AVG, and the operator lineup is interesting to say the least. We're going to be hitting a Caveira and a Frost this time, but we have got the Legion, which could help to deal with some of this shield play coming through from Team Secret.
Absolutely. I mean, we see one less shield coming out this time. We don't have the Blitz. We've only got the Monty and the Fuse. So we will see if they use them in quite as big a rush. I'm presuming Secret are maybe going to be looking at this thinking, you know, we can't just do the exact same thing again because they're going to be prepped for it. But like UX, I would have suggested maybe Navi just moving away from this side and trying to mix things up a little bit. You know, you do just get into a really bad roll sometimes and you can lose 3 or 4 rounds very, very quickly chasing that win on one side.
I'm slightly alarmed because for Na'Vi, there's no C4s here, which they tried to use last time inside Study. Admittedly, completely mistimed it. Instead, what they're looking towards is things like those Frost Mats, the goo mines coming through from the Legion to slow down these shield-based ops and potentially try and pick up a kill off the back of those.
Moving in now to around the 2.5 minute mark. Not quite just yet, but very soon to be. Slow start, admittedly, this time from Team Secret, as it looks as though they're going to try very similar to has been done previously. Saves are going to be playing the longer angle this time over on 90, so he's going to be able to deal with any pressure coming through from that north side push, which was the undoing of the Na'Vi defense back in round number 8. He's going to be trying to find himself an angle over in Trophy, but it doesn't look as though any of the attack is going to be pushing through that way just yet. But we do have Leon and Meepy going on an extremely long flank as the shield operators, and it looks as though this time they're going to be the ones pressuring through from that south side, although Leon is going to get found by Doki pretty early on, and that's going to make it pretty difficult for Meepy to do anything.
I think we're getting to that point where, you know, we've said these teams do want to win, and, you know, I think Navi have had the fun a little bit and they're just sort of settling in, and you can see there's just a little bit less movement from them. Kendrew getting a kill, followed by saves. That now leaves us 5 versus 2. We're just seeing Navi play those angles a little bit tighter, just settling things down a bit, and I think, you know, they're not quite willing to rush in. Feral tracing all the way, but then we'll lose the gunfight. Saves come in and somehow manages to get the kill before Feral picks up the Frost. There we go. I think it's just a comedy of errors at the end of that one there.
He looks in the corner, looks away, and then goes, wait a minute, looks back again and has to spray him down before he can even find the kill. Beautiful stuff, but a much better setup there defensively where they spread themselves out throughout the top side of the building. They didn't cluster themselves on site, didn't all sit there watching south side. It was letting the shields get in quite freely without any kind of contest. And then once they were in, they were undetected. They didn't know they were behind them. And you saw a couple of them die. You saw the Fuse go down early. The Monty got sprayed down from behind as well. Just very little they could do there to make anything happen because there was just trap after trap being set up by the side of Na'Vi.
There was, and I think, you know, as I said during the round, I think Na'Vi just took that one a little bit more seriously and just settled back in a little bit and just, they got them early kills rather than, you know, going for the run-outs, rather than sort of running around the map like mad trying to pick up anything that they could. They were a bit more happy to, you know, play a more serious game on that one.
Frost is very popular today as well. I'm seeing a lot of that getting picked up by both of these teams. And one thing worth mentioning as well is we do see in Pro League at the very least, and all these competitions we've seen like Rally recently, things like the Mozzie also becoming increasingly popular thanks to the diverse kit that he offers.
Mozzie is, there was a bit of a conversation going on over on Twitter a couple of days ago, and it, you know, I was kind of not alerted to the fact, but it was really brought to everyone's attention that Mozzie is one of the best operators in the game at the minute. His kit is second to none. The only thing that he's got going against him is this low ammo capacity in both of his primary weapons and his secondary. But the super shorty, 3-shot shotgun, rotation holes easy, hatches easy, single shot holes easy, high fast rate of fire SMG as a primary, and then nitrocell. What more do you want out of an operator? And I think that's why we see him picked so often indeed. Frost, I'm not so sure. She's had some good results today though.
And that's without even looking at Mozzie's gadget. You know, not only are you gaining intel for your team, which we know is so important, you're also denying it at the same time for the attackers. And yeah, I completely agree with you. You know, it's such a powerful operator at the minute.
More often than not, see it paired up with something like a mute as well, because between you then you have 7 doorways essentially that you can lock down. And speaking of the Mozzie, there is a kill coming in onto Leon, one of the big fraggers, and only one call has been brought out by the Dokkaebi. That second one will not be brought to bear.
It's a big day for Nello. He's getting himself out of the site. He's learning these maps. These are going to be areas he's never seen before because he's just not allowed to leave the site. So Nello really enjoying himself, no doubt, stretching his legs, getting to play a bit of Mozzie today.
Clearly sitting there and just thinking, for once I actually get to experience sunlight, guys. What is this wonderful thing you've been hiding from me this whole time? I feel like I've been locked in a basement for the last year or so. And Kendra here on the frost, just waiting. You can see there are a couple of members of Secret on the other side, but they know that he's there, or a very good guess either way. That'll be Meepy finding himself a kill.
Certainly will.
A cautious approach there, very cautious, making sure to destroy both of those frost mats and take time to reload his weapon before making that push over on into Master. Diffuser has now been secured as well, so we could actually see a bit of a comeback here from Team Secret. But Nello has something to say about it. He's going to find one super short. He's going to find another. He's going to move his way over on into the Master bedroom, and that is going to be all she wrote. Navi are going to pick up the first map, taking it very convincingly. Frost mats coming in. Frost mats win rounds. That's something we've always said, and to see that in the dying few seconds is magical.
Frost mats are the order of the day. That's 3 that we've seen trapped in frost mats. And these are good players.
It's the old chat. I mean, it clearly shows that you are a truly incredible player. Just no one appreciates it. Everyone has to have a weakness, so having a frost weakness is not the worst weakness in the game that you can have.
Any frost mains, they appreciate it. They love it.
It felt funny out of seeing as well at the end. Of course, it being a show match, the players like to have a bit of fun as well. A bit of easy, a bit of wrecked going through in the chat between each other as well. Although these guys play each other a lot, there is a lot of friendly banter between the two of them as they come up against each other every single time. Yeah,
and it's always a lot of fun to see as well, you know, being able to sit on the other side of the stage to your friends, play in that LAN environment, and have a lot of fun doing it. You know, what more can you ask for when you're playing Siege and, you know, playing the game that these guys all love?
This is it. I mean, we've had the pleasure of sharing the company for the last 24 hours as well, and you really do see that sort of personality and the rapport they've got and the banter they have outside of the game as well. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to get one up on the other side.
Yeah, we'll be jumping into Cafe in just a moment as well. No breaks here. The show match train does not stop. Now, I wish, guys, I could sit here and stand here and ask either of you, given how small I'm compared to you. You might assume I'm sitting. I'm not. I'd love to sit here and say to you, what are we expecting going into Cafe? But I think if that was anything to go by, we don't really know what to expect.
I mean, no one really knows what to expect with Cafe just yet anyway, because it's still developing as a map. You know, it seems crazy that Canal's come out on the test server, and that's now seen as the new map or the reworked map. And yet, I don't feel like we've all got to grips with Cafe just yet. I think it's still got loads to offer. So, I mean, Cafe, we still don't really know what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of top floor. We're going to see a lot of bakery and kitchen. But aside from that, I'm not too sure.
You always hear a lot as well from people that are starting now saying, you know, Border is the next map to die, that it's the new Oregon in a way, because it's one of those maps where it's a very binary attack. You either start on the southwest side or the northeast side. You go from office or security. That's how every single attack starts. And it feels weird because although people say that, Cafe is very similar. If you're not attacking bakery, you tend to start off on the west side inside a cigar and push from there. What do you think is the difference between the two maps? So when they say that, when some are saying, look, comes down to where you attack from, Cafe probably has less choices than what Border does.
I think what happens with maps like Border, when they've been in the map pool for a long time, they've been played for a long time, is these teams really do narrow down to the best 1 or 2 attacks on any given site. And yes, whilst there are other options there, as there are on Cafe at the minute, if you come back and look at this new Cafe in 3 or 4 years' time, you're going to probably see it looking almost similar to Border, in that it's just been refined and refined and refined to that point.
It is a very variable map, needless to say, at the moment. It seems to be, for a lot of teams, it's still figuring out, like you say, exactly what to do. Yes, step 1 is enter on the west side of the building. Any steps beyond that, though, that's when a bit of variety comes in. And so many teams are still trying to find the best way to assault into White Corridor as well.
Maybe we'll see it today. Maybe we'll see it with few shields, blitzes, Monties.
Chanker on Pixel, calling it. You're going to see something wild get set up there inside a cigar, no doubt.
So I think we're just about ready to head into the game. So we will take you over to Cafe Dostoyevsky for our second map. Navi having won the first one over on Villa. This time we will see Team Secret on the attack first of all. So Navi will be coming in with the first ban.
And what is it going to be?
Got to be a Capital in there somewhere.
Someone's got to ban it. And I think banning first, you've got the option to not be the one to ban it. So you can... It's not a bad shout. It really isn't a bad shout.
Ban the shields.
Leon is going to be fuming. You can see him there with the profanities in chat. He's not happy about that one little bit.
Tactical ban, I like to think of that. I mean, really, they would have been the team to ban the Capital here because they are the ones that start up on defense. And of course, you tend to try and ban away what you don't want to face off in the first half of the map so you can give yourself a good advantage. Doka being that's one going through. We've seen that quite a bit earlier on Villa, so not too surprised to see that one taken away.
Heading into our defensive bans then, that is Fuse and Dockerby locked in, so we are going to see potentially some Capitao play, which is always interesting. Very powerful operator at the moment with those, particularly with the asphyxiation arrows being altered. I think that's played a really big part in Capitao's rise, you know, just spreading that area of effect, and it's just made him even more deadly than he was before. We're going to have the Clash ban coming in, so certainly going to have fewer shields this time around.
I guess it helps with something, but something tells me Secret won't be dissuaded so easy. That there will still be some work towards using the shields wherever possible, but that is the bans down and done. Nothing too unexpected when you look at Mirror. The other three may be a little questionable between both sides, but heading into round one, like I say, it is Secret starting out on the attack. And let's see where they choose to set up their defense here in round one.
I think as fun as everyone, you know, as much fun as everybody's having, and as much as we're seeing a wide selection of operators and stuff, it's still no joke about this Mirror ban. Mirror is banned no matter what.
Yeah,
every single time, and it's just whoever bans last has got the unfortunate sort of duty of doing that ban and taking Mirror out, because these teams really don't want to be tempted maybe to leak anything the crucial. If they've got a really crafty Mirror window that's hiding up the sleeve, and all of a sudden they find themselves a few rounds down, they might be tempted just to bring it out.
It makes me a little bit sad, does the sort of constant ban on Mirror. She's an operator that I really enjoy playing, and I think I don't want to get to a stage whereby, you know, we almost start looking at Mirror as an operator that maybe needs to be nerfed or to be altered in some way, because, you know, she did an awful lot for the game after coming out in Velvet Shell. She really did completely transform some sites that previous to her appearance in the game just weren't really viable. And as much as she is powerful, I don't feel like she ever feels really overpowered as such.
The weird thing is that it's not her making the impact in the game, it's what the gadgets enable and how it changes the way that sites are defended. And really, the only change you can make to that is by reducing the number of Black Mirrors that she has. And you don't really want to change that because she becomes quite weak then. We saw what happened to Echo when he had one Yokai drone for a while. Just changes things around. But in round one, we are going to see the same as the last map. It is going to be the air jab into knife, and we'll see how it plays out. Last time round, it was Meepy picking up the only 2 kills for Secret, while Doki had got himself a 4K. Let's see if Secret can change their fortunes this time round.
I mean, they've got the advantage that Navi had last time when Navi were on the attack and were able to make good use of that. I mean, I don't know what kind of advantage that gives you, if any. But it looks like they're going to find themselves a bit more space this time, which is a bit, it's always important.
Where's the fifth?
Somebody hiding?
Where is he?
Oh, Citizen. Is he
coming.
just waiting? No, he's just late.
Oh, no! He did try and cheat it out, and well, it paid off for them.
Very, very questionable from Citizen there. I'm going to have to call him out on that. He was still on his feet. He went straight in and picked up that first kill. And I just think that's very, very questionable. From somebody who, you know, generally speaking, I think has got a lot of professional integrity there, Citizen, that is questionable.
Can we play proper this one? No, is the response from everyone in chat, it seems to be. Feeling cheated by the outcome of that round.
I feel cheated by that.
There was almost call for a steward's inquiry there.
I'll be honest, I don't think it's needed. I think we all saw it. We all saw what happened.
Well, Citizen giving themselves a reputation. There will be no beverages bought for him this evening by anyone on Secret, I'm sure.
I wouldn't have thought so. So heading into round number 2, I am sure we're going to be seeing a more serious defence here as we head to kitchen service and kitchen cooking. A little bit difficult for us casters, that one on the call. I'm not sure. You know, kitchen service, kitchen cooking.
Yeah, service and cooking.
Yeah, you know, it gets broken down. But naturally, I look at that and I just want to refer to it as kitchen. But there we go. So obviously, we've seen big changes down here. Previously, it was pretty much, you know, just it wasn't a viable site. It was because of all the external windows that you had when the other site was out in the bakery area. It was just impossible to hold on to it. We've seen a lot more walls erected. We've seen a lot more nooks and crannies brought in that have completely changed this site around. Really, you've still got the 2 options. You've got the west push, as you say, Des. Get yourself into bakery, get control over that area, and then look to move in for a plant just inside a site from there. Alternatively, there is the white stairs option of moving in through the freezer.
What we see a lot of from teams as well is vertical control, which is exactly why you're seeing both the sledge and the book being brought here. I imagine it will be a case of taking control of the second floor, making use of those grenades, try and just get Na'Vi out of those weird nooks and crannies that they might be trying to slide themselves into to hold down a safe spot. And you can see where all these Vault cams have been dropped down as well. And we had a good debate earlier on, me and Leon, about Vault cams and how enjoyable they really are to play against or play with, for example. It's all about the intel, always with the Valkyrie.
First kill of the round there coming to Citizen as he just holds himself, and we've got Dorky just hiding in behind that bakery counter there. That's a vital spot as we're seeing the strats develop for this one, and what a great shot onto Hellbee from Dorky there. Absolutely removes his head for him, and that will leave them 4 versus 3. Out comes a Nitro to follow onto Feral. Dorky taking this one by the scruff of the neck.
Meepy
There is a kill
gonna
for Meepy.
Meepy going to find a frag kill of his own. Citizen picking things up where he left off last round with a knife kill as well. And now it is all going to be down to Meepy. There's going to be defenders outside of the map trying to hunt him down, as this is, of course, a 1 versus 3. Pretty unlikely for Meepy to be able to clutch things out. And he has actually got the shotgun as well. Didn't notice that up to this moment in time, but it is very clutchable with the shotgun if he breaks it down and gets into close range engagement. He's, of course, got a lot of time left on the clock as well, and he could do worse than just wait for Na'Vi to get itchy feet, get a little bit bored, and just try and push aggressively onto this. You can already see Citizen. He's itching to get himself outside. He's itching to peek over onto that bus stop area, but doesn't find anything. Nello over in Bakery is most likely going to be the next person that Meepy is going to come up against in this situation. The shotgun isn't going to do the business at that range. Didn't quite see him there. The outlines, obviously, for us make it very easy, and the static camera was up as well. It's going to be one of the easiest kills of Nello's life, no doubt.
Whew. Cheeky little one-tap there. And yeah, nice shot, oof. That's pretty much the words I would use to be describing it as well. Interesting change over there as well. And I actually love defending Bakery because when I play as well, holding on that angle, you have so many areas that you can just pop up and appear with the vision straight on towards that double door. They just don't know where you're going to come from. Is it from the left-hand side of the main counter to the right-hand side over the top in the little gap? And as you saw there, moving into the corner as well, when that wall is reinforced, usually it's pretty much a guaranteed safe spot that you then have a 5th option of somewhere to pop up. It just gives so much variability and variance, I should say, to the defender that's playing in that area that it makes it so difficult to attack.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of utility that's got to be used on both sides to root somebody out of behind that counter. I mean, you're going to want to have ADSs. As a defender, you're going to want to have ADSs. You're going to need a C4. You could do worse than a deployable shield. You're going to want some barbed wire on the door. There's a heck of a lot that's going into it. So as an attacker, you've got to try and counter that. And what are you going to do to be able to try and remove all that? Well, you're going to need to burn the ADS. You're going to need to try and, you know, get some nades in there. You're going to try and need to flash this guy out, get across on him. And it just becomes such a sticking point. And that can take, you know, a good minute out of the round to do. And if it's not dealt with effectively, you can see what happens when Doki's able to just sit there and play pretty much for free.
They're going to come up against that when they go on the attack, though, because let's remember we've seen Fonkers play that same position extremely well previously. So, you know, I'm sure that's going to be something that they look to do, but you're absolutely right. That's becoming a real power spot when it comes to that site. And as of yet, I've still sort of yet to see a really good method of quickly rooting somebody out of there. So that's going to be interesting to see how that develops over time and as we get Cafe played more. So looking towards round number 3 then, 2-0 in favour of Na'Vi, and we're going to have a little run out from Citizen here. He's keen, he's got his eye in, he's looking to get himself some shots, and he will get, no, it's Dorky who actually moves out and gets the kill onto Fonkers. Ferrell will trade that back with one of his own onto Nello. So Nello, once again, must have been leaving that site. Nothing good comes from it, Nello.
No, leave it to the professionals, shall we say, in that case.
Nothing good comes from it.
What are your guys' thoughts on the site? Because this is always the ones that gets a lot of deliberation and debate. Do you prefer playing on split, or do you prefer playing it on when the other site is inside of wheel?
I like when it's the old site. I'm not too keen on the split. I think any time that you've got a split bomb site, there's that need to rotate in between. There's, you know, where are we going to hold, where are we going to deploy the utility. There's more questions, and there seems to be more to cover. So yeah, I would always favour wheel and fireplace as opposed to you know, the split reading and fireplace.
I think you tend to find on split sites as well, because of how the siege maps are designed, you end up with more potential entry points onto site. Because there's a corridor in between, it's like they're actually building more because it can be attacked as sort of a singular room. Because obviously you've got to consider potentially the other game modes as well. Meepy coming in with a kill onto Dorky there, bringing himself back to 1 versus 3 as it stands. You've got to consider those other game modes, and these are rooms that could potentially be needed as a secure area objective or a hostage objective. So they're built in a way whereby they've got multiple entry points because of the corridors, whereas when you've got adjoining rooms, it just reduces that, and you've maybe got one on each site as a real entry point then. But like you say, when you've got a split site, you might have actually 2 to 3 entry points on each of the individual sites.
Well, solid start so far for Na'Vi. 3-0, taking it quite seriously, I suppose you could say.
Meepy last alive yet again. 2 rounds in a row now, and it wasn't unheard of over on in Villa either. Just finding himself as, you know, that last man standing, just trying to make something happen for his team. Running the silencer, interestingly enough, over on Sledge's SMG11 there. I think maybe if he hadn't have had the silencer on, he might have done a bit of a better job at getting a couple of kills, because it does reduce the damage output ever so slightly. And with that SMG, high rate of fire, heck of recoil to control, every single shot you land counts.
Well, let's see if any 6 pits come through for either team. We did see at least the initial hover coming through for Kendrew of the Chanka, but I think it was more of a bait there than anything else. Don't expect to see too many changes to what we've got here coming through for Na'Vi. They've gone for a very interesting defensive setup here that relies a lot on intel with the pulse from below. You've got the Echo with the Yokai drones, the Legion with the Goo mines. And again, this is a debate that I think I've had many, many times, particularly with a couple of coaches, around the actual role of Legions in these teams. And many will say, oh, well, he's a trap-based operator. He's there to, you know, trap people and hurt them and slow them down. And yes, he does do that. But it's the intel that is really important. If you know where you have placed your Goo mines in the round so far and one goes off, as long as you know which one disappeared, you know where there is a potential attack coming in, and you can adapt and move members around to deal with it. Very unlikely you're going to see 2 or 3 Goo mines all popped at once. So as long as you place them intelligently, you know where the attack in direction is coming from in general.
Absolutely, and obviously, you know, you've got to be placing that Legion in the hands of somebody, generally speaking, who's going to look to be alive late in the round. It's a gadget that builds over time and becomes more and more powerful into the late round. If you get to the last 15-20 seconds and you can have 8 Legion mines down around you, believe me, that's pretty much round over at that point. So that's something else that a good Legion player really does need to consider. Now, looking towards round number 4, we can see Kendrew looking for that pistol spawn peek. He will take shots, and he will get a fantastic headshot onto Ferrell. How about that? Talk to me about how overpowered that scope is.
Hits him with the good night as well. I mean, it's not overpowered because it was, you could see it's a tough shot to make, but
how overpowered is Kendrew?
I think that's more to the question.
I appreciate the attempt, Nello. See, they're going to see daylight. Let him try and make these big plays.
Get it out of his system.
For him.
He needs to get it out of his system, though.
Yeah, and then for the next year or so, until the next show match, he won't be allowed to do these things again.
I mean, because he's seen Doki doing stuff like this, he's seen Citizen, he's seen everybody doing stuff like this, and all of a sudden it's his big day, he's trying to try it for himself.
Is that the most infuriating thing as someone like Saves there, where you're trying to be all sneaky about it and really quiet, and someone just comes charging up the stairs next to you like, yeah, cheers, mate, thank you.
Nello getting himself a kill there. So sometimes good things can happen from Nello moving around. So he's got himself a kill, and that's going to leave us now 4 versus 3 in favour of Na'Vi. And Secret really need to be winning a round or 2 here. They don't want to get to a stage where this one's getting completely away from them. Remembering, of course, that they lost that first map, and just as I speak, Meepy will provide and moves in and gets the kill onto Dorky. So that's one of the big fraggers gone there, but Saves will answer with a headshot onto Bonkers, and that will leave a very quick 2K coming from Nello and Kendrew to finish the round off, and that is another one in favour of Na'Vi.
You can almost see now how Leon doesn't want this to be an absolute stomp, because he's starting to play serious. He's picking things like the Jackal, which is his favourite operator that he's pretty well known for, to try and shut down these members of Na'Vi, but they're still just running away with these rounds before Secret can even get themselves established. It's now 4-0. It's starting to feel like the Prem finals all over again, because that was where I think it was Na'Vi completely wiped the floor with Secret in the finals.
I think when you're coming up against that kind of a spawn peak coming through from Kendrew, it's going to be very difficult to motivate yourself as a team, because you don't see that all the time. It's a high risk, high reward play. You know, Kendrew's putting himself in a position where he's got a very good chance of getting shot straight away, because people are going to pre-fire those windows. They're expecting those peaks. But when it comes off, you're the hero. I think that's what he experienced last round.
Certainly a hero play indeed. So moving towards round number 5, then we're going to be heading back down to kitchen and service. Of course, as we're 4-0, we have seen Na'Vi play down here. We've seen Na'Vi win down here previously. I think, you know, what do Secret need to do better here? I think they need to be dealing with the Na'Vi roamers. They need to be getting a bit more map control. I can't say that I've ever really felt so far in this map that Secret have ever genuinely had consistent control over an area of the map, and that's something that's going to have to change here.
Yeah, they're going to need to try and establish that foothold. We talked about it earlier, attacking onto this site now. The key thing is going to be vertical control. You're going to want to try and get upstairs, maybe in through reading and push on through into fireplace, into mining and into wheel. Open up as much of the floor as you can and just try and work those angles. They're going to be certain that someone's going to be playing behind bakery counter, and they're going to need to either choose to deal with that or not. And it's not the end of the world to not deal with it, just be expecting the rotation when it does come through.
Citizen looking for that peak again. He's just keeping himself from getting detected. I think, oh no, he just makes it back in time again there, so it will give him the opportunity to just run back out, causing an absolute menace of himself there, although it was Dorky that picked it up last time. Kendrew is certainly keen for another one of those pistol headshots, but I don't think he's going to get the opportunity there. I think Secret just a little bit more aware of those windows this time around.
He still wants it, just not going to find it initially. Quite rightly so. Secret back away from that window. Do not want to be facing off against another headshot, lest there be another good night coming out of Kendrew.
I mean, at this point, that pistol's probably better than Ella's primary, because the primary is a nightmare with the side-to-side recoil and all that. I find it so difficult to use. So he's probably not doing the worst thing in the world, hunting for heads with that pistol. But looks like his team's doing the hard work for him, with Nello and Doki grabbing one apiece. Again, getting first blood and getting that man advantage in Navi's favour.
Can we just take 1 minute to just have a little think about Ella's recoil on day 1? Can we just remember it?
Imagine.
It was a beautiful thing. Ferrell moving in with a kill of his own, and Fonkers is going to follow that one up with another onto Citizen. So that now leaves us 2 versus 2. Secret fighting back here, and they certainly do not want to be facing a whitewash. But Dorky has other ideas as he jumps out of the bus stop window to get himself his 3rd kill on the round. But Fonkers will come in with his 2nd, taking the head off Dorky, and now leaving us in a 1 versus 2. We've got Nello and Saves remaining on the smoke and pulse, but that will now come down to a 1 versus 1 as Fonkers gets the 3K. He's going to need a 4th if he wants to win this round out, but he does have an inordinate amount of time in order to do so.
Pretty sure he's not there just right now, mate. He's run off elsewhere, one to worry about. Let's not forget as well, these guys used to be on the same team back when Na'Vi were known as M&M before Fonkers left to join Team Secret. So a bit of a 1v1 rivalry here for old time's sake.
Nello is searching for this heartbeat, but he's not finding all too much. He's going to have to make his way down on into the site. Fonkers does have the diffuser, so could easily easily get a plant off as there is 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Nello's going to have to break the hatch and make his way on into sight. Fonkers is going to come off the diffuser there, and he's just going to cause some pressure. Fonkers now, he's going to have to push. Nello lying in wait with pulse shotgun, ready to clean up shop.
Clean up shop he does. You know, we've seen it so many times from Nello. Gets himself back onto and around the sites that he knows so well, gets himself onto the shotgun and closes things out for Na'Vi. So that's going to leave us 5-0 now.
Well, Na'Vi taking no prisoners today, that's for sure. Secret have started to try and show they really want this still in the second half of this map, but Na'Vi, you're seeing things a lot. I mean, Bonkers, to be fair, in the last round, finding himself a 3, nearly a 4. Doki doing exactly the same on the other side. Does kind of negate those kind of plays, though, which is what's making it so hard for anyone on the side of Secret to really shine, is because round after round, you're seeing exactly the same thing, that same brilliance being matched by the members of Na'Vi.
It is a tough one because you can't play against unpredictability. We see it time and time again in Siege, and it can be the most infuriating and the most difficult thing to play against because you've not got any preparation. You don't know what anyone's going to do. No one's predicting that you're going to get pistol headshotted off spawn. You just can't account for it. So it can be difficult, and Team Secret have really found it tough. It'll be interesting when they go on the defense to see how they're going to play unpredictably because it is a map that you can run out on. There are spawn peaks potentially. You know, there's a lot of aggressive play out there as a defender that you can achieve on Cafe, and I think, you know, Na'Vi have taken full advantage of that. You know, there's a lot of rotations. You can move around the map nice and quickly now with the addition of the staircase, well, you know, with the move of the staircase over that we're looking at now on that north wall. So it is a good map for the defense, I think, and we'll have to see how Team Secret are able to fare when it is their turn, of course, next round.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, don't kid yourself. Even if Na'Vi go 6-0 here, it is not going to be an easy task for them to pick up that one remaining round that they will need for the win. I'm sure when Secret get themselves onto the defence, you're quite right, and we're going to see a little bit of it once again, you know, similar to what we saw on Villa. We're just going to see that tide turn a little bit, and I'm sure that Secret are going to pull things back. It'd be ideal for them if they could pick up the win on this round, just to give themselves a bit of momentum, a little kickstart into that defensive phase.
Worth mentioning as well, I think, just so everyone out there is aware, if this does end as a 2-0 to Na'Vi, we will be doing something fun afterwards. Stay tuned for that one. Something you haven't seen before, I can guarantee you that much. And Leon, well, he's going to see something he hasn't seen before, and he's going to get the opening kill of the round. So that's going to be a solid start for them. Question is, can they translate it now into a round win? Because as I said in the last round, every single time we see a moment of brilliance out of Secret, it is matched or surpassed by someone on Na'Vi as well.
A lot of pistol play today. Citizen there just searching around on all the windows. We've got Nello on the pulse yet again. He is in fact going to be getting Jackal tracked at this moment in time. It's going to be Citizen that peeks around, finds one onto Leon, but is traded instantly by Fonkers. Fonkers now looking to assault his way over onto White Stairs, but it is going to be Doki that's playing down there. In the small little janitor's cupboard, he is going to be accompanied by Saves, who is still playing on the stairs.
Just holding his position there. I think he knows there's somebody at the top. He certainly does, and he will absolutely destroy Fonkers as he comes over that balcony, and he just gets removed from the map. Feral there, just on the red stairs, picking up that diffuser, doing what is needed for his team. We can just see a little bit of a different approach, I feel here. Just a little bit more seriousness in the approach here to try and get themselves into a winning position. We can see Meepe just hitting that soft wall there, looking to try and pick up a little headshot through, and he's very unlucky not to. We can see the floor below him getting ripped up though, and damage will be done to the gridlock. Nello with the kill onto Feral, leaving us 3 versus 1, and Doki finishes that off with a headshot on to Meepe, and that's another pistol kill for you, TallyX.
The tally is getting long. I'm having to do the thing where you cross through all the lines because I've got to 5. Round number 7.
I mean, you only have to do that every 5, to be fair.
5's a lot. Round number 7, and it is going to be match point now for Na'Vi. Well, I don't know another word that you could use other than convincing at this point. To go 6-0 on defense on Cafe, very impressive indeed. And it's going to be on Secret to do their very best to try and clutch out a couple of these rounds and to make this, to save this whitewash, I guess.
Yeah, and doing their best, I can assure you they will be. I mean, if you have a look there, there is kills across the board, apart from Helby. there's kills across the board for Secret there. Dorky coming out 10 and 4. That's never going to help when you've got a player like Dorky who is just running with his confidence and picking up those shots. I think, to be fair, we've already seen the play of this map so far. It's going to be Kendrew with the one shot.
Yeah, without a
Pistol
doubt.
headshot
Yeah.
from top floor.
Play of the, I think it's the kill of the match, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, and Doki 10 and 4. I mean, it's a good job he's better at, you know, Siege than he is at spelling his own name. Because can we just talk about that game attack for a moment?
To be fair,
it looks like
he's
got to be
so good at spelling it that he can spell it backwards as well. If you read it backwards, I am Dorky.
Yeah,
That's
it's beautiful.
what he's doing there. Round number 7 then, as we move in with Team Secret on the defense this time, and we will see if they manage to pick up any rounds at all, or are we going to see a big 7-0 here?
I think there's potential. At this moment in time, Navi are going to want that 7-0.
Yeah,
Just
that's
as like
the thing now.
as a stamp.
Yeah.
Stamp of approval, bang, 7-0 there.
That is the thing. They are certainly going to be looking, and you know, what more bragging rights do you need than getting the 7-0 at that point? Absolutely whitewashing somebody. So we can see we're up on top floor here. Meepit has got himself set right up on that Tachanka turret, but do remember he's on a soft floor there. So if we get potentially the Jackal of Citizen, if he's got the shotgun, we've got saves on the Ash there. So we've got a number of opportunities to get in and open that floor up underneath him, and that is going to be a cheap kill. It just depends if the drones get in there and just locate him so that they are aware of that. We can see pretty much top floor play here for everybody. The Ying Candela's just coming in, and I think Nello's just going to look to get himself onto that east balcony. We know it's a very powerful position. He goes in on the hot reach there. Citizen with the first kill onto Leon. In go the Candelas. Doki with a kill for himself. Nello moves in to clear the Tachanka out, and clear it out he does. This is looking good for Na'Vi as they go 4-2 on the round, and that will now be 3 versus 2. Helby with his first kill, but he will be traded straight back out. We see his saves going through Nello. He's so keen for kills, but Citizen will ultimately finish that one off for Na'Vi, and that is going to be 7-0.
A great plant there coming through from Na'Vi. They managed to drop the skylight under the cover of smoke. Kendrew got the bomb down, and Nello provided all the distraction that was needed. He got in there with the Ying Candelas and the 612, a gun that is underrated. We don't see it often enough, and put it to very good use indeed.
We don't. And, you know, we saw some interesting things there on Cafe. We saw, you know, a little bit of difference. As we said, we saw different operators that we wouldn't normally see, and it's always interesting to see, you know, what sort of strategies they bring to the table. Yeah,
without a doubt, you know, it's not something that you see every day, a show match like this where you go in 7-0, and I think, you know, Na'Vi put a very good showing out there with that, and it's going to be interesting to see what this little surprise is that we have got in store.
Yeah, I can assure you it's going to be fun. It's going to be something that we certainly don't normally see, but it's asked for quite a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely one to stick around for. There will be, you know, more Siege coming to watch. I can certainly say that. You know, really, Secret there, I just think struggle to ever get into that. It's mechanically they just seem to be losing the gunfights.
Yeah, it's just that they didn't actually ever, you know, really seem to find a handle on it. And like you say, the map control thing was quite a big problem. But we are actually going to throw over to Des now. He's going to be out front just behind us here, and he's going to let you know what our surprise is. So stay tuned. And Des, please, can you enlighten us a little bit?
I can indeed. Hi, guys. Well, it looks like the streak of Na'Vi destroying Secret in UK lands is going to continue. But because that was a 2-0 and it was quite quick, we're going to do something you don't really get to see between pro teams. We are going to have them play on a non-ESL map. The players have discussed and they've agreed they're going to play on plane. So if you want to see what pros running around on a map that we haven't seen in a long time looks like, stay tuned. When we're back in 2 or 3 minutes time, we're going to go to plane and see what pros do in their spare time, what kind of crazy strats they can come up with. So stick with us, back here in just a few minutes.
Well, they call it an experience for a reason, and if you were here before the break, you would have known exactly why. The show match ended 2-0 to Na'Vi, but we thought it wasn't quite ending it there and then. We are taking this to Plane to settle who is really going to be the true winner, because let's be honest, the winner of Plane wins everyone's hearts at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the score up to this point is almost irrelevant. Moving into Plane, it's going to be exciting.
It's that last one to score wins, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
that mentality. I think, it's one of those things, we like to, they're very good players, and it's always fun to see them in a different environment that we don't normally see them, playing a map like Plane. Even within ranked on a stream, you're not going to see them play something like this, so it's going to be completely different to anything that you've seen before, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
I love the best thing how he came running over and went straight onto the wiki and was just like, what are the sites called? What are the call-outs to this map? So basically, no one has any idea. So we're just going to make them up as we go along and be like, yeah, he's in that square room that's got a trolley in there or something. There's some luggage in there. It's in every single room. I don't know. It's downstairs. We'll make it up as we go.
We spend hundreds of hours watching Siege, playing Siege, but we only really cover the same 7 maps. So I'm sure it's going to be fun on both sides of the table.
What are you really? I can't believe I'm even asking this question.
What are we expecting on Plane, Des?
We don't
people
know.
will get shot and things are going to happen, and someone will win a round somewhere, but I have no idea what's going to lead up to that moment.
Well, I mean,
I think we're going to see a lot of peaks.
I don't even know what the best site is.
Runouts.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of runouts.
Glaz.
We're going to see a lot of peaks.
Glaz
Glaz
was
up
a
on
thing.
the wing. Get Glaz up on the wing. You can't return fire on him, so then you have to run out. Nomads on the doors. I don't know.
Oh, man.
The meta it's vast
It's
and
unknown.
unexplored. Yeah.
It's unknown.
It's vast.
These are uncharted waters, ladies and
We're
gents.
heading
And
into the deep.
you're being led by your captain, Ace, here to take us all the way. Honestly, I'm just... It's ridiculous.
I love how you're laying that responsibility at my door, Des.
Definitely. Mate, you're the
You
mature,
might as well have
sensible
stood
one.
there like that as saying that.
The mature, sensible one, mate. What can I say? The only person who can lead us through this insanity.
Mature and sensible with
We
his
ain't got
shirt.
a clue. Yeah, to be fair, we did joke earlier on. Looks like the kind of guy you'd have outside some clubs in Ibiza or something.
Come on.
I think
You'll be selling me something.
I think that's a real disservice to that shirt.
I really like this.
I do actually like the
It's
shirt.
fine fashion.
It's either that or you're going to sit at an afternoon tea party or something like that. I can't quite decide.
I think we are nearly ready to get into this game.
I think we're all ready at this point.
I don't even know what to say to introduce this, but it's going to be Plane. It's unknown. Let's just have some fun with it. Let's see what we can put up with these two teams.
It's going to be special.
That's one word to describe it. Well, what do you even ban on this map?
Glaz, I
Glaz?
think.
Yeah.
Glaz immediately.
Why would you want to ban? I think you keep
Is
him
it
here
just
for the
me, or
fun.
does Dockerby's DMR also shoot through the windows?
Mate,
It's just you.
I have no idea. Genuinely.
I think it's
Can
just
you
you.
still do the shotgun trick where you completely shoot out the windows on the
No.
inside and then Glaz can't see through them? Is that still a thing?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, it's not a thing.
That used to be a thing. If you shot the glass at close range with the shotgun, it just filled it with bullet holes. But you could cover the entire window so you couldn't see in through it, and then Glaz couldn't see through
I
it.
understand. I think you can still do that. That could be meta.
I'm just saying.
That could be
I'm
meta.
just throwing it out there. I'm digging into my past, as to what I know about Plane and what we could potentially be seeing. We've got a no ban coming out initially from Team Secret. They're happy to see anybody on the board.
They were all joking during the setup earlier on during the break. They were saying so just like old ops only, like original ops only, so nothing
vanilla,
more than that. So a proper throwback in some ways, but things are being banned out here that, will probably fall into that category.
Twitch and Tachanka banned so far. Are we going to see a final no ban from Secret?
I hope so. Perfect. There we go. I've never actually noticed before that actually the smoke that appears does look like an operator.
Does a little bit.
Just don't really see
I'd
no
like to
op
think
bans
that it's Recruit.
The ghost of Recruit.
The ghost of Recruit.
Ghost of Recruit. I quite like that idea.
Gone but not forgotten.
Never forgotten.
Right, let's see what side we go to. Cheers, Leon.
So, heading into, I'm trying to be serious. Heading into, I just noticed and I caught myself. Heading into round number 1, we're going to be seeing meeting room and executive office.
So, where are meeting room and executive office?
Meeting room, executive office are at the front of Plane, located underneath cockpit des.
Here we go, that's it. We're getting the call-outs down, mate. We're there.
On the second floor as well.
Second floor.
I know that because it's in the name, but I didn't know anything else.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is anyway.
I think this is the preferred site, isn't it?
Yeah.
This site is meta.
Primary site. This is your primary site choice.
This is pick one.
again, we've got Glaz coming straight in from Nello. No surprise. We're not going to see him on the wing. You can't really do too much up in meeting and executive. Look at that. Look at that for map knowledge. I'm not, I don't know, I'm so proud
Are
of
you
that
proud?
I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm honest,
Are you
but
proud?
there we go. I actually quite like playing as a map. I've always found it quite enjoyable if you get it on casual and things like that. I don't think it's the worst.
So a secret apparently, because I spoke to Leon and he was like, we've actually got strats for playing. I was like, why do you have strats for playing? He was like, I don't know. It's beyond us all as to why on earth you would have strats. Maybe he's just
I'll
one
tell
day
you
expecting
why.
the return.
For now, this is why. This is their moment.
I mean, they could maybe do it getting some strats for Cafe.
Oh, it's going to be that kind of match.
Well, they do have them, just good strats for cafes.
But yeah, that's more like it, Des, you're right.
Chanko wasn't quite a viable strat.
No.
Or it was, just there was poor execution and communication.
I think I can already see that this match is being taken more seriously. We've not seen a single defender leave the building or the plane just yet, so no aggressive runouts. And you know, it looks like things are being a bit more serious. We've got Kendrew over on the Monty. He's going to put some pressure and let his presence be known. Helby trying to deny it with some toxic Bay cannons. He's going to burn
this
two
is great.
within the first 30 seconds. The nade comes in and it's going to force him to retreat, but he can still regain his position and use his final canister. But that's all his deniability gone now, and this push is going to come at some point. Doki removes Helby's head. Does take a good few points of damage for himself in return. And Nello missing his shots. Unforgivable.
How do you miss shots like that as well?
Well, you managed us.
Yeah, but I'm not a pro player. You enjoyed that.
I really did. I really did. So we are now 4 versus 3 as Leon moves in and gets himself a double kill. So that just brings things back in the favour of Secret. However, Citizen will drop the shield there and take a pistol shot onto Leon, ending his reign of terror. Fonkers with the kill onto Saves. Nello will tragically throw himself to his own death as the injured Glaz and Meepy will mop things up at the end there, taking the first round for Secret. Those strats really come into the fore.
I love how even Doki is asking, can Glaz shoot through the windows? Not that we know, because Nello died very early.
He can. Glaz can shoot, unless they changed it.
This is where Doki's out on playing Glaz.
No one knows.
Guarantee
No one-
you, he
nobody
picks it in this
knows
round.
Helby's unsure. He's the coach. I think he's probably the guy that I'd
I
turn to
told
in this
you.
situation.
Just
But
knew he was going to pick it.
it maybe has been patched. We're definitely going to
I mean,
find
let
out
us know
one
in
way or
chat.
another.
Let us know in chat.
We're going to find out one way or the other, aren't we?
I'm sure we are. What I like there, you know, yes, we're having a bit of fun here, and it is a lot of fun, but we saw some real skill at the beginning there. We saw Doki cornered outside. Out came the Toxic Bays to try and bait him back in. But what about that nade that came back in and just enabled him to get back onto the stairs? It was real thinking on his feet. He moved quickly, and then he managed to come back and get the kill onto Helby as well. So great plays from Doki there.
Des is intently reading the chat just to see what is going on between
I'm
these
just
guys.
actually really like excited to see Doki getting excited at the prospect of a Glaz shooting through windows, because in the last round I think he thought it couldn't happen. Now he's been told that it can. He's like, I want this. Glaz is mine. Give.
Nello has been forced out onto a Fuse as well. I mean, Fuse and plane, what's the potential there? What are we looking at? Are we looking at some sort of vertical aspect?
Yep.
Are we looking at, I mean, they've gone downstairs. I think it's called luggage and service.
Cargo, it's cargo, isn't it?
I think luggage or cargo, depending on
Mr. Observer, please go first. There you go,
preference.
luggage. Okay.
Luggage.
Yeah.
It's luggage and cargo.
All right, we're getting there, boys.
Yeah.
It's together we are drawing a map. It's good. We're getting there.
And there are a few places where the Fuse could come into use here. There are a few soft floors above them, so
Wait, where
there
is
the
Kendrick?
opportunity there.
Oh, it's a drone. I was like, what? Where is he? I saw the marker. I was like,
How's
where
he
is
in
he?
the map?
Yeah. I was like, what?
It
New,
is-
new operator revealed can move in on prep phase.
Jesus.
It isn't that different, Des.
No, it's not, mate.
The principle is still very much the same.
Mate, look, this is breaking reality right now. We're treading new ground here, okay?
So looking intently, Fonkers up at the hatch then. It's always a potential for somebody to try and drop in from the roof there and get up above. We can see Nello approaching it. Fonkers is waiting for him. Surely there comes the kill, and that will be the diffuser going down. How on earth does Fonkers predict that one?
Nello's going to be kicking himself there, but kills are going to fly. Meepy's going to pick up a 2K, but Navi grabbing a kill apiece either side of that. Saves making it a 2K for himself. Very quickly, we are left in a 2 versus 2. Leon rotating back down into site along with Fonkers. Fonkers now in cargo. He's going to challenge over onto Saves there. C4 toss comes through, and Leon with the shotgun to close the round out for Secret.
Absolutely disgusting C4 toss in the middle of a gunfight there.
Well, Secret said they had strats, and the two, look, defender side of map, yes or no?
Yes.
It's pretty clear to say yes, given
based
how
off what
thin
we've
it is.
seen.
The thing is, though, both times they brought the Monty because the map is so thin that it's actually really effective. There is no real flank potential onto that Monty at all.
Absolutely not. And the thing is, on playing, a lot of the doors are single doors as well, which benefits a Monty. There's one double door at the middle of plane, but other than that, generally speaking, most of them are single doors. It's very narrow, very restricted movement. So yeah, Monty can really thrive in that sort of environment.
I can't believe we're talking about the viability of Monty on plane still.
I mean, I can't believe Kendrew's 6 picking him out. He's going over to the Blitz.
Craziness.
Absolute scenes here in the show match.
He must have heard that you thought it was a good idea, Tim, and thought, you know what, I'm going to switch that one
I'm going to switch
up.
out because it's probably a lot of
I mean,
rubbish.
the Blitz is going to work equally as well because you've got that aggression and you're going to be able to get in there, and with those confined spaces, you've got the chance at flashing 2, maybe even 3 defenders if you play your cards right. So Blitz could do the damage there. Doki's still keen to find out if this Glaz is of any use, and this is the best site to bring him for. We're going to be looking toward getting onto that wing and being able to look through the windows on into the site in the middle of the plane. And I don't know what they are called, but I believe there's one like lounge, first class lounge.
5 seconds left before 3.
I think it might be.
Might be.
Well, that's staff.
Or is it master?
That's
there-
press.
Is there a master section maybe?
I'll be able to tell you, mate.
Alex-
You're asking the wrong people here.
Alex is going to leave me high and dry here and not actually show us where it is, or at least what it's called.
I don't think Alex knows either.
He has the power to find out, though.
He certainly does. So, heading into round number 3 then, we've seen Team Secret come out with a very strong start so far. But as you said, Des, that could well be that we're just seeing play out as a more defender-sided map. We won't know until the sides actually switch around. We can see Doki making some quick progress with Glaz there, getting himself into the press section and looking to move through. Fonkers is upstairs once again on the mute, and he's causing an absolute nuisance of himself. Citizen will level things out and indeed will improve them with a double kill for himself onto Leon and Helby. So that now leaves us 4 versus 3.
Fonkers is making good use of that upstairs section. It's allowing him to rotate very freely, and there's not really anything that Navi are going to be able to do about that aside from challenging him head on. But they're going to have to make their way up there, and it's going to risk exposing themselves. Doki going to get cut down by Fonkers, traded out instantly by Saves with the shotgun on that sledge, putting that to good use at these close quarter engagements. Citizens on a 3K for the round, and it all lies in the hands of Meepy to try and clutch this one out and to save Secret's flawless record so far. He is in fact going to spot onto Nello and get some good shots in, and the down over onto Citizen, taking this to a 1 versus 1. Saves now. He's got the shotgun, so he's more suited to a close range engagement, but the diffuser is down on the ground. Meepy has made a full rotation underneath, and it looks as though he could be maybe going for the flank on this, or is he just going to try and sit and hold, wasting time?
That is a long flank to make with Rook. That is a long flank to get the entire length of play, and we can see Saves now working his way towards that downed diffuser. Meepy not in a position to do anything about this at the moment, but it makes me wonder if he's got some intel as to that diffuser being picked up potentially, because he is going to have to move himself upstairs and look to make a challenge here, because Saves is getting that diffuser down, and Meepy looks just ready to strike into action as he comes up the stairs now, but it's going to be too late, and that's going to leave him in a situation of having to retake the site, which he won't do. As Saves manages to put that shotgun to good use.
Saves played that flawlessly, being able to recover the diffuser, take his time to clear out the angles, and then he was allowed enough time and space to get the plant down.
Maybe it's falling back a bit too deep from Meepy there as well. all back downstairs.
He did keep himself a long way away from sight.
You could have just sat on stairs there and just watched on over the cusp of stairs in towards the site itself, and you would have seen him go for that rotate rather than giving him full control of the floor and saying, do what you want, I'll react when the plank goes down.
And he had an ACOG.
Look, it's plain. Not many things are going to make sense on this map, okay? We'll bear with it. It's okay. Double shield, potentially the name of the game. I think Doki is still very resolutely sticking by playing on this glass because he really wants to make this work. He really wants to go back towards the west side of the plane because that's when they were on attack earlier on. He was like, oh, wait, that's where it would be effective. Now he gets that chance to do go back to that first round site once more.
He really wants that window kill so he can put the question to bed, doesn't he?
I hope he gets it, to be fair, because I'd like to know myself.
I think we all would.
A lot of sight setup here going through. Feral, as Feral as Jaeger got the M870, looks like he does. He's going to be putting that to some work, renovating the site. Plenty of rotation holes, and you know, why not? Because shotguns are very effective in playing. A lot of close quarter engagements. There is an advantage to having an ACOG if you're going to play aggressively and try and challenge people on ladders, coming up, trying to get into the plane. Or if you're going to play the couple of long angles that there are down the length. But more often than not, you're going to be within good, effective shotgun distance, so why not give yourself that advantage?
That's quite an interesting setup on the executive area there. They've castled the door and they've reinforced the walls because there's no vertical option to get in there. So to all intents and purposes, that site, you cannot gain access to it now without dealing with that castle and moving yourself into the plane itself. So not a bad shout there, I don't think.
He really wants this run out. Really wants it.
There's just something about playing, it makes people do crazy things, and
Really
that's one of them.
it.
Manages to find Kendrew. Kendrew on the Monty. Leon, he's going to say, I want a piece of this as well, and he's going to fell Nello.
Oh,
Nello
the
again,
push!
falling early. Leon making this an absolute tear. Feral is going to steal his final kill away, but what a 3K coming through there from Mr. Leon Gids.
Just charging out that front door, round the corner, not even messing around with the smoke canisters there, just saying, you know what, shotgun does the job much better. And when there's no Monty to keep you alive, you've got nothing to fear. There's no one there to stop you getting some damage down. So very well played, dare I say, by Leon here on plane. Does find themselves now at 3-1 up on the defensive round, and it's down to Na'Vi to adapt and change on a map that no doubt they have absolutely zero practice on.
I'm not sure adapting and changing comes into it, Des. You know, I think you've probably got to have a purpose in the first place in order to adapt or change it. I think, you know, largely they're going in and just seeing what they find in front of them.
They're not even going in.
No,
they're not getting in. They're not giving themselves that opportunity to be able to get on in the map because the spawns are so unpredictable and you can be run out from on multiple angles. Nello is having a very tough time trying to find the leaderboard. He's going to move over onto the Monty, and that could just give him that little bit of a security blanket. You know what? I've got a big shield. I'm less likely to get shot. I mean, we did see Kendrew fall in round number 4 to a spawn peak, and he was on the Monty as well. But I think maybe Nello making the right choice there, just stepping things back a little bit, choosing to take the shield, grabbing that diffuser, and we could see a plank come through here.
Well, there was that one round where it came down to having that plan down. It wasn't particularly well defended by Secret in the post-plan situation when they gave themselves a little bit too much room to stand back and got themselves caught out.
Round number 5 then. 3-1 in favour of Team Secret, and it would appear at this point that they really were not lying when they said that they had their strats ready and that they had been all keyed up and looking to play a bit of plane. They're certainly taking the fight to Na'Vi here, and they're winning a lot of the gunfights, and that's something that we've not seen in the last couple of maps. You know, I don't know what's changed that particularly, but they're just getting more aggressive, they're just getting more confident, and they really are taking the fight to them. What about that run out on main door from Leon Gids, getting himself a double?
Leon is that aggressive player as well, and if he sees that opportunity, he's definitely going to take it. Meepy's going to see a lot of pressure early doors here. He's actually using the MP5 with the hollow, understanding he doesn't need that long-range potential of the ACOG. He's got the support of Feral on smoke as well, and Feral will no doubt try and deny this push as it comes through with some toxic bay canisters. Nello is going to fall, be finished off by Kendrew as the push from Na'Vi comes through. Doki finds one of his own onto a struggling Helby. Meepy has been downed in the process, making that a double kill for Doki. He's on a tear as the Blitz. He's going to make a challenge on, but he's going to switch over to Leon Gids, finding that kill onto Citizen. Feral with another over onto Doki. Shotguns being the order of the day. He is going to be downed and finished off in the process by saves. The plan almost certainly going to go down now. Leon has got the tools to try and clutch this out. He's got the shotgun. He can open up the floor. He does find the kill onto Kendrew with the heartbeat scanner, and that is going to leave it all in the hands of saves.
Doesn't seem to be picking him up. I'm not sure if that's maybe a little spectator bug there. I'm sure he was close enough to have him in range. But we can see now we're going to have the diffuser going down, opening up above him. He will see it. And what a clutch from Leon Gids. 1 versus 2 finishes it off with purely vertical play. That was a little bit special on the pulse there.
Shotgun pulse. What a time to be alive.
Don't question it.
Just embrace it.
I'm
Des.
never questioning it ever again on playing, that's for sure.
Just embrace it.
Shotguns have been doing the do for the defenders here. They've been putting them all to very good use. And Leon, you can see, at 9 and 2. He wasn't kidding when he said he was revved up and ready for playing.
For me, the kill of that round had to be the shotgun to the feet of Blitz. That was something.
I'll take it, yeah.
Head-on challenge with the Blitz and dropped the reticle down to the feet and just absolutely opened him up like a tin can.
Metaphors are wonderful, aren't they?
Staff section and executive bedroom. 2nd floor. No glass this time from Navi. They're going to be going for a slightly different tack. I think Nello's still struggling to find that leaderboard, flexing over onto the Fuse this time. Only 1 shield being brought as well. I mean, I don't really question Doki bringing the Blitz because it did net him a good few kills last round in the push on into Cargo. But they're going to have to do something. And I think there's another round here for Navi to win. And this is, of course, their last round attacking onto playing before we do, of course, switch sides.
You remember Navi coming into this on the back of a 7-0 whitewash. You know, they're really playing for a bit of pride here. They're looking to, I'm sure, do, you know, as close as they can to that in return for Navi. So they're going to be looking for 7-1 without a doubt here.
Look at the castle strats that are going into this as well.
We've said it before, if you brought a castle, you know what you're doing.
It's a fact. I mean, it's going to get countered relatively easily as long as Kendrew manages to get himself on into the building. He's going to be able to use the sledgehammer to destroy those and to open those corridors and lines of sight back up. But there's a lot of castle work going through from Secret. They really weren't kidding when they said that they had plans and strategies as to how they were going to attack and defend onto this plane.
Just feel like they've definitely got it figured out when it comes to the defensive side. Meepy's going to find himself a double kill really early on in this round, immediately being contested by the shields. But either way, a good return overall. Blythe gets one through the flash as well, bringing down Doki despite him being on that shield eventually. Sage is going to run him over, but that's still a triple kill on his side. Sage equally finds himself 2 onto the other way. Now we find ourselves into a 2 versus 2. And we're only 40 seconds into the rounds here, gents. Now into a 2 versus 1. It's Secret with the numbers advantage. And it's all down to Nello, the man who, like you said a few times, Ace, has struggled to find the leaderboard so far with it all to do. And Leon once again playing upstairs, now goes into a 1 versus 1. This is feeling very reminiscent to how things played out last time, but there isn't a pulse on side this time. Nello is going to try and stick the plant here, and he is at the other side of the plane, but they might just find his head creeping out. Yes, he will. Leon once again does it in the final couple of operators left alive. Clinches that round out for Team Secret.
I think we're basically seeing what Leon's been probably spending a bit of his time doing recently, and that's playing a lot of plane. There's no question. He's just dominated the last 2 rounds and clutched them out, you know. Can't fault him for it.
Well, I want to see how things change around, because if they're being serious and Secret genuinely do have defensive strategies to this map, what are they going to have when it comes to attack? Because it's quite clear for Na'Vi, for example, when Kendrew was on the Monty running across the tarmac and he got gunned down from a run out, that's the kind of awareness I expect Secret, if they have been at least playing. It sounds ridiculous to say that a pro team has ever been playing and devising strats for this map, but let's assume it's true. They will have and be ready for that kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, that speaks of Kendrew spawned in the wrong spawn and was trying to run cross-map to get to where he needed to be, which isn't ideal. So you're going to hope that, you know, Secret have got a good idea of at least where they want to spawn and where they want the push to be mounted from, what's going to be their beachhead moving on in.
I mean, let's go back to that last round. I think it's worth mentioning. It's not often we see on stream a kill onto Blitz whilst flashed. Meepy just carried on spraying, and that's the answer. You know, all joking aside, there are always things that you can learn from watching players of this caliber, whether it is a bit of a fun match like this, or, you know, there's always things that can be picked up and learned. And the thing to take away from that is, if you get Blitz flash, just keep shooting, because at the end of the day, you're gonna get those lucky headshots occasionally where you take Blitz out of it.
It's just like X said earlier on, you miss all the shots you don't take.
He's very wise.
Got to shoot your
Very
shot.
wise. Very wise.
You've got to shoot your shot. Kendrew, looks like he's going for some early aggression here. He's going to make his way outside. Hesitantly, he's looking for that peak. Don't want to expose himself all too much. Trying to find someone on the ladder, and he is going to be rewarded. Can he hit his shot or not? That is going to be the question. No, it's going to be a shield operator. The shield operator is going to be dropping up and down. And Kendrew, it looks like he might back off from this. Shield operator has got to the top. That's going to be a safe passage there for Feral. He didn't even take a single point of damage.
Plays from Feral. Did you notice him sliding up and down the ladder there? He just dropped down a bit and then carried and just made himself very difficult target there.
Clearly difficult as enough, as he took absolutely no damage in the whole thing, but it's still Secret finding themselves kills, despite this being the defensive side so far for Na'Vi. But we are into a 4 versus 3 as Doki will find his team's first kill in this round. Quite handy that you have a medic on this plane, because that will be the castle being brought back up again.
Feral's going to find one over onto Citizen. Doki managing to take out that Claymore just seconds before detonating it. And he's going to challenge over onto the hatch. The pressure now going to come vertically through from Team Secret, but they're going to be limited in what they're actually able to do. There's only the hatch drop available, and when there's a shotgun playing at the bottom of that hatch, it's not somewhere you really want to be at all. So they're going to be looking to focus more toward the east side and find those staircases and make the way through that way. Feral's going to find one over onto Kendrew. Look at that for a risky late castle barricade. Doki doing all he can to stem the flow, but Meepy going to cut right on through.
Just trying to lock himself into sight, but not quite to be. I love how he was lying down as he fell as well. That was a real, true drop shot. I'm
really not sure what the plan was from that point. I think Doki just thought, get a castle up here. I don't know where you go from there. You've just, you know, you've given him the other side. There's absolutely nothing you can do. I'm not sure what the plan was there.
I think he was just after a second to try and compose his thoughts and to figure out really what was going on and what his plan of attack was going to be. Maybe put another couple of shotgun shells over on inside of that castle shotgun, because he was definitely going to need them if he was going to look to clutch that round out. But we now are on match point for Team Secret. Not something that we have said yet today, but here we are on plane. It's been very unpredictable. We've not really known what to expect, but it's been a lot of fun nonetheless.
Looks like we've got some suggestions of mixing the teams up and re-rolling the teams there in the chat, with C. Cravy coming out there potentially.
C. Cravy.
You heard it here first.
Well, they need to get someone from Secret to have strats of playing, clearly. They just haven't got it figured out. They just don't know what to do.
Na'Vi just were not prepared for a show match on plane.
They were.
You know, that's what we can take away from this.
It is disappointing, really.
It is. You would have thought teams would have prepped more.
Lack of preparation.
Yeah. Forget the Pro League prep. Time should be going into playing, obviously.
Well, when it gets reworked one day, Secret are going to be really glad that they've put this time in and they've understood it.
Like I said, I've always found playing quite enjoyable for a bit of fun. I think it's a difficult map to balance on the basis that it's so linear, it's so narrow and so linear, and that's what makes playing a difficult map to really do too much with. And I think it's one of those we're probably just going to see remaining casual and just be there. You know, it's an entertaining map to play in that format, but competitively I think it's probably going to be a struggle to do much with.
One of the amendments you'd see would probably be adding like a ground level floor beneath the plane itself with a bunch of cargo down there, or fencing or something.
Oh,
Leon!
Hit him with the good night.
There
it is. Leon has put Kendrew to bed there. That was a headshot whilst Kendrew was running, pretty much returning the favour from earlier. And Kendrew's going to know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that this time. Kills trade either direction. Doki finding one onto Meepy, and then Helby trading him straight back out. I think, is Leon the only person so far that's managed to get a kill with the glass? It's going to be short-lived because Citizen is going to find his head.
He really did tuck him in tight there, didn't he? He really did. So we we can see the Monty in there causing a nuisance. Fonkers is going to take advantage of that disruption and get the kill onto Citizen, but it will be immediately traded out with a shotgun blast from Saves. Saves having an absolute tear on this shotgun today on play and gets the second onto Helby, and that is going to leave the Monty in a 1 versus 2. A near impossible situation for a Monty here. He's going to drop his shield and start fighting. But we will see. I think that was a Claymore as Saves moves outside that is going to down him. So that will now leave Feral. Could he do the impossible? Could he get this 1 versus 2?
Oh, he will!
He will hit him with the hip fire kill, and that will finish things off for Team Secret. Plane certainly going in their direction.
Well, boys, if you ever sit there and say, look, we can't beat Na'Vi on most things, at least when it comes to unofficial maps, we've got them nailed down.
That last round was a lot of fun indeed. I really thought we were in for at least one more round of that when I saw the odds stacking up in Feral, well, against Feral, I should say. But he managed to come through in the end, and what a load of fun that was.
I think, you know, as well, Leon gave us a real argument for killer of the match there. We thought Kendrew had it absolutely sewn up. And for him to get it on to Kendrew as well, I wouldn't like to call that one. I wouldn't like to call it.
Kendrew called himself a bit of a scientist because he was like, well, at least now in the name of science, I've sacrificed myself and shown that Glaz can shoot through windows still.
If there's one thing to be taken away from this, you can still shoot through windows with Glaz.
He should have shot the back of it with a shotgun.
So if ever you were to play playing and you get, I don't know, maybe having a bit of a laugh with your mates, you're running a custom game and playing is the choice, then at least now we know that can be done. So thank you very much to the teams there for showing us that it is a thing that can still be done. You can still shoot through windows. A show match of 2 halves, I think it's pretty fair to say. Na'Vi 2-0 and walking their way through Cafe. When it came to playing, Secret showed that they are still very much so a team to be reckoned with here in the UK scene. Closing thoughts on the show match, gents.
I think it's been a heck of a lot of fun. You know, we've had the serious side of things where we've seen, you know, Cafe and we've seen Villa. We've seen rounds going back and forth. Interesting plays throughout the whole course of the day. Some really special standout kills and a good display of skill, which is always really important in a show match. And it's something that's always great to see. And then, you know, I don't even know what to say about playing. I think I'll leave that one up to you, Tim, and you can find some words to try and describe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, it was an awful lot of fun just getting to see players in a different environment. As I said, it's not a map that we normally see them go on. And I think what that does is it really brings to the forefront the mechanical skill there. We saw it from Leon. We saw Saves going absolutely wild on the shotgun. And it just gives them that opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to play in a completely different way to how I would normally be seen competitively. And just to really have a bit of fun with it. And that's what they did. You know, all great sports there for, you know, having a bit of banter backwards and forwards. And a lot of fun here at Ubisoft Experience.
It's been good fun with all 3 of us on the desk as well, I think. You can have a shaking hands.
Thank you very much.
Oh, why not? Yeah.
It's been good fun. You get one as well.
Oh, thank you.
You guys won't want to shake hands as well, because otherwise it's really weird then, to be fair.
We shake hands every night.
I'm sure you do. That is the end of today's festivities, though, here at the Ubisoft Experience. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, so if you're around in the area or you're out in the audience, do feel free to come back. There's plenty more going on tomorrow. But for now, good night.